Today, look at the big crowd we've got going on here. All kinds of people wondering if we're all going to survive this industry. Okay, for those of you who know Career Compass, I got to share something kind of funny with you. Okay, many of you know Donna. She's right there in the box right next to me. That's our director of operations. So she's like, "Hey, Wellington, what music should I play today?" Right? For background music before you come on. I'm like, I don't know, pick anything you want. And she starts playing this song like from it's from an album called Songs from the last generation or something like that. And it's once I built a railroad, now it's done. Brother, can you spare a dime? And I'm like, are you kidding me? We don't want all of our attendees to literally hang themselves before we start the session. It's like this totally depressing stuff. So I thought that was pretty funny. So good morning, everybody. Look at all the great friends we have on the talk right now. If you're not our friend, then you are now. Welcome to our talk. What we're going to do today is talk about the lawsuits. We're going to talk about real estate. We're going to talk about, are you going to be sued? More importantly, today, we're going to be talking about whether the people on this call, yourself, myself, and all of us are going to survive this industry, because many of you are thinking to yourself, gee whiz, what in the world is happening with this, with what's going on in the industry, right? And that's true. It is very, very true. And I think, I honestly think that there is going to be some dropout. There's going to be some people getting out of this industry. I honestly feel that way. But here's the good news. It doesn't have to be you, and it doesn't have to be your business, and it doesn't have to be at the expense of your business. And I know that many of us have heard and felt and experienced a lack of business in the last couple of years, especially last year, especially 2023. Because I was in an office, you like this. I was in an office, I don't know, going on, 3 weeks ago, something like that. And I asked the realtor, how's it going? He goes, it's going great. I'm only down 50% this year. I'm like, it's going great? He goes, yeah, I'm the top agent in the office. So the top agent in the office has only lost 50% of their business. Now, if that is not you, and you're doing just as much business as you were in 2021, 2022, then congratulations, you are fantastic. For the rest of us, we really want to know what we can do at this point to start generating more business. And I'm going to show you that today. So my name, as if you cared, is Beef Wellington, like the food. Beef Wellington, like a fancy cruise ship food, for those who don't know me. And my real name is Wellington Pendel II, but who wants to hear that, right? It's a mouthful. So I am Beef Wellington, and I am with the Career Compass. Now, if you are not familiar with the Career Compass, then what kind of a rock are you living under? I'm just kidding. If you're not familiar with the Career Compass, you are going to get a treat today, because the Career Compass is not only the #1 training organization in the state of California, soon to be the country, for realtors, but we offer things that no other training organization offers at a price that is literally free. It's literally free. In fact, it puts money in your pocket. We are the second largest entity of realtors in the state of California, next to CAR itself. And CAR isn't optional. So there you go. So I guess we're the biggest when it comes to optional things. So I'm going to talk about who we are. And I had a special request. I'm not going to mention any names, Kim, for somebody who wanted to know exactly what's going on with our live events. And I will spend 5 minutes on that. Talk about the DOJ the rest of the time. And here's my promise to you, 2 things. Number 1, I will stay on this call as long as you want. We're scheduled for about an hour or less, but I will stay on the call as long as you want. I will answer every single answer every phone call. No, I'm kidding. Answer every question that you have regarding the DOJ, regarding the lawsuits, regarding what's going on. I'll answer all the calls, because the Career Compass is by far the #1 company in the entire United States teaching realtors exactly what's going on with the DOJ and how to survive it. So the second promise I have for you is, at the end, there will not be some big sales pitch, okay? I will be talking about our live seminar for 5 minutes. At the end, I'll be talking about our coaching program, which shouldn't even be called coaching. It should be called the greatest program in the history of the world for realtors, that's literally free. And I'll show you how. So there's not going to be any big sales pitch. I'm not going to ask you for thousands and thousands of dollars or anything else like that. So stick around to the end. The bonus of today's talk is going to be, and ready for this? Everybody wants this, your taxes. Because it's a new year. And let me just tell you this, okay? You're not going to believe this, but I'll show it to you today, okay? So stick around. This is going to be the most profitable little lunch and learn you've ever had in your life. I promise you. I am literally going to take your taxes from wherever they are to almost, if not zero. Today, I will do that. I know that sounds like a wild boast, Please stick around. I promise I will do that. If you are making less than $250,000 GCI in your real estate business, your tax obligation, because you have a specialty license and because you qualify for a certain tax bracket, certain tax classification that most people do not qualify for, your taxes to the federal government should be zero. Yes, legally with zero audit risk. And your taxes to your state, whether it be California or something else, should be somewhere around $700 to $800. And that's it. That's it, with zero audit risk. If you are paying more than that, you are giving the government a 5-figure gift, and you shouldn't be doing that. I will address that today. Let's get going. Now, if I talk too fast for most people, just listen quicker. Hey, I'll tell you what I'll do for you, okay? I got nobody laughing here. Nobody, okay? Kim, you're not even laughing. What the heck with this? Okay, so my point is, I'm actually making you smarter, because did you know that the human brain can hear words at 4 times the normal speech of cadence? Did you know that? And I'm going to speak at about twice the normal speed occasions, but you got to actively listen. You got to work your brain. So I'm giving your brain a workout. So I'm actually making you smarter today. Sound good? Let's get going. Now, just for those who don't know, here's what the Career Compass has. I'm going to talk about this for 5 minutes because I got a special request because somebody wants to come to our live event that's coming up in Tustin, which is going to be great, or the Pechanga one. Amazing. And then I'm going to talk about this at the end. This is where you cut your taxes to zero right here. So don't go anywhere. We are the #1 live real estate agent training and success seminar in the state of California by far. And I'm not bashing on everybody else. All the other guys are great. Get all the training you can. The smart realtor will always beat the dumb realtor, unless the dumb realtor is related to the seller. Then you have that problem. But other than that, go to everything. Brian Buffini's a great guy. Tom Ferry's a great guy. Mike Ferry's a guy. So don't go anywhere. We are the #1 live seminar, and I'll talk about that for about 3 minutes, and we'll switch about that because most of you have already been to this. Half of all the realtors in the state of California have been to this before. And our new mentoring and coaching program, which really shouldn't be called coaching, at the end is how you cut your taxes down to zero with 12 other amazing benefits. Fastest growing mentoring and coaching program ever. We have thousands of agents in this, and it's only been around for a couple of years. Amazing. Let's get going here. Now, by the way, look at that. Look at that. Isn't that awesome? Career Compass was named Best Real Estate Training. Best Realtor Training by the California Legislature. Look at that. Awesome. We are tired of being so good. So that gives you an idea. So let's go ahead and talk about, for those of you who want to know today's agenda, we are going to talk about Career Compass for 5 minutes. Then we are going to talk about the NAR versus Department of Justice for, 35, 40 minutes, answer all your questions. Okay. Then we are going to talk about how to cut your taxes down to zero. Don't go anywhere, because 50% of all the money you're going to make in your life is going to go to taxes. This literally, what I'm going to show you today, could change that. That's an honest promise. Right? Then we're going to talk about what? Then we're going to go ahead. Oh, here's check this out. This is an email we just got. Look at this. Bill Kanoki is a tax god, our tax preparer. The Career Compass's tax preparer. Tax god. Before using him, I would pay taxes anywhere between $10,000 and $50,000 a year. Does that sound familiar? It sure does if you're an active realtor. Ready? In 2022, I grossed my most ever, highest GCI ever, of $220,000 in commission, and I only paid $800 in taxes legally with zero audit risk. Carl Bascos, realtor, RC Realty of San Diego, DRE license, phone, etc. There it is. And I could probably show you 1,000 more of these. That's what our tax guy does. It's amazing. Don't go anywhere. That should be you. Then we're going to talk about the C4 program. That's how you do your taxes. All right. Now, any questions, any concerns, I will stick around all day long. This is my entire day just for you. All right. Let's get going. Now, for those of you who don't know what Career Compass is, I'm going to do this really quickly. Our live events are the #1 live event in the state of California. Can you imagine getting trained by people like Marguerite Crispillo, Tom Daves, the 8th best realtor in the history of California? This guy right here was Keller Williams' #1 realtor in the world for 7 years straight. He's one of our trainers. Can you imagine that? This guy is the #1 trainer on teaching you how to get in the senior market. Okay, this is the lawyer letter. There's your tax guy. Can you imagine getting trained by all those people at a fun 2-day seminar live where we're learning things like how to get a commission override. Do you know what a commission override is? If you don't know, you need to know that. That's the future of real estate. Do you know what the deal a week technique is? That's not double ending. That's getting 5 transactions on one property. People are doing that right now. Okay. Do you know how to beat Opendoor, OfferPad, Zillow, and all the rest of them? Do you know how to get your social media up to snuff? Many people don't. Do you know how to get into do you know how to get into the senior market? Biggest opportunity of realtors in the history of real estate. Do you know how to do your lawyer letter? Most people don't. Do you know also how to get a 7% commission? I'm going to stop right here. If you do not know what the 7% technique is, it is a revolution in this industry. A revolution. See these realtors right here, Tony and Tasha? They have had in the last 3 years 37 listings that were at 7% listing. There were 7% commission, 37 of them, all competing against other realtors that were cutting their commission to 5 and 4%. You need to know this technique. This is literally the answer to the problems that we have in real estate. Every single realtor, this right here should be mandatory training for every single realtor. I'm telling you, if we had this, we wouldn't be having the problem with the Department of Justice. We would not be having the problem with the fact that the nation's average commission, both sides combined, is 5.02%. We wouldn't be having that problem. Every realtor should know this like the back of their hand. And boy, I tell you, when people do learn this, they're like, how could I have done real estate any other way? Do you know how to do that? Okay. Do you know how to beat the IRS? We're going to talk about that a little bit today. So that's basically how the Career Compass works. There's our seminar, 500 agents at Pechanga Resort and Casino having the time of their life. And we do this every other month. The next one coming up is Tustin. The one after that is Pechanga again. You should be there. And we just got done doing the Roseville, which is Sacramento one, last week. So great networking. And what everybody loves about our seminar, not just the training, is we have an open bar. Yes, thank you. Open bar, open bar. See, Kim's still not smiling. It's amazing. Yeah. Tough lady over there. Okay. Don't worry, Kim. I'll make you smile eventually. Here's all the locations: San Diego, Anaheim, Pasadena, Mandalay Bay, Las Vegas, Fisherman's Wharf, okay, Sacramento, Napa Valley at a winery. At a winery. And Pechanga Resort and Casino. Okay, we do all those locations every single year. Now, here's where it gets good. Not only is it the greatest training in the history of real estate, not only is it open bar, networking, fun, only 2 days, but here's what you have to do every single year, every single 4 years. You've got to renew your license, which takes 3 to 4 weeks. Okay. You've got to do your ethics. You've got to do your implicit bias. And then next year, they're adding sexual harassment. Ready for this? Our program, when you're a Career Compass member, all of that gets covered. All of it. In addition to the great training. How cool is that? And the best thing about Career Compass is after you come to our seminar once, you're a member for life, forever, for free. You get to come back for free, for life, forever. You never have to worry about getting your license renewed through our third-party affiliate company. I got to say that legally. Or coming to our seminar or networking or great training. Come back for free, for life, forever. Real Estate's Best Seminar, okay? License renewed through our third-party affiliate company that comes in and does it for you. It's amazing. They're great, okay? Free lifetime renewals through them. No need to wait. If you're renewing in 4 years, you can still get all of your requirements now. You can get all your requirements through our independent program right now. And then the one you need in 4 years is already done. You do not have to wait till the end. A lot of people think you have to wait till the last 90 days. You do not, okay? You just can't turn the credits into the DRE until that time. All right, you guys understand how it works. Now, most seminars are $500, $500, and they have none of this. No lifetime, no renewal through our third-party affiliate company, training that isn't even close to ours. So if we were charging that, it'd be a bargain. But check this out. Our program is $195 one time for life, and you're a member for life. You get to come back anytime you want for free, for life, forever. You drunks out there are like, $195, I can drink more than that at the open bar. And you're right. You can add your spouse or a relative or an assistant for $99. Right? It is tax deductible, of course. If you just renewed, don't worry. You can still do it for 4 years from now. And I will talk about that a little bit later on today. So that is our live program. Okay. So if you want to check those out, just go to The Career Compass. 3 words, thecareercompass.com. Thecareercompass.com. All right, let's get going here. Now, what is this? People are like, I at the seminar last week, and some lady goes, oh, it's Walgreens. Ha! Walgreens. I'm like, no, this is the Realtor building. Look up here, okay? This is the National Association of Realtors. Where? Chicago, Illinois, okay? NAR. And who are we talking about? Well, we're talking about versus the Department of Justice plus everybody else. We're just going to clump everybody into the Department of Justice and everything else. You're thinking, well, Wellington, none of the lawsuits are actually from the Department of Justice. You're right, they're not. But they were certainly prompted by the investigation by the Department of Justice, weren't they? Yes, they were. And that's the important part with these things. Excuse me. That is one good cup of Joe right there. Okay. They were prompted by the Department of Justice investigation over the last 20 years of the National Association of Realtors. That's really what paved the way for the Sister Burnett case and the Moeller case, and now cases in every single state almost. And I'm going to go over those for you, but I'm not going to go over every single state and every single case because there's just too many. And that should tell you something. The fact that almost every single state is going to have class action lawsuits against the National Association of Realtors and the state board and the local board and the MLSs. A lot of people aren't thinking about that. These cases are against the MLS as well because they're the storage area, storage database for all the, should we say, collusion. All right, let's get going here. Now, let's start out with basically what happened. Okay, there was a case called the Moeller case in Missouri. Moeller, the guy, was pissed off that he got charged too much commission. Let's just leave it at that. There was also a consumer named Sitzer and Burnett. Together, they felt that the commission that they paid as the sellers to the buyer's agent on the other side was, one, too much, and two, they thought, why am I, the seller, paying commission to an agent that's literally working against my interest? Because as the buyer's agent, you're working to get the best price. And that's the case. Let me show you exactly what happened. A Missouri case on behalf of 500,000 consumers, class action. Okay? And by the way, it was a federal jury. That changes a lot of things. Saying that NAR and the defendants, the big four. Now, who are the big four? The big four are Keller Williams, Berkshire Hathaway, Remax, and a company called Anywhere. Now, many of you don't know what Anywhere is, but you actually do. Anywhere is the new name for the old Realogy. Now, what's Realogy? Realogy is the ownership parent umbrella company of the following brands: Coldwell Banker, Century 21, ERA, Sotheby's, Better Homes and Gardens, and a few smaller brands. So let's just go over. So who are these? Who is the case against? Ready? Keller Williams, Berkshire Hathaway, Remax, and Coldwell Banker, Century 21, ERA, Sotheby's, Better Homes and Gardens, and a few others. So that basically encompasses about 80% of all the agents. Now, the defendants and the big four collusion to keep commissions higher than they should have been by mandating that the seller of the house, pay the commission to the buyer's agent working against them. That's the entire thing right there. Now, if it was only based on that, we probably would have won. Okay, Realtors probably would have won, but it gets way, way different than that. Let's go ahead and talk about it. Now, let me go ahead and give you the official thing. The lawsuit was filed under the Western District of Missouri, Western Division in 2019. It became a class action in 2022. Now, think about that. The case was originally filed in 2019, but didn't become a class action suit, meaning Sitzer, by the way, by the time it became a class action lawsuit, Sitzer and Burnett were already out of the case. They already settled. So it was a Sitzer-Burnett case, not even representing Sitzer or Burnett. Amazing. But in 2022, it became a class action lawsuit against NAR and the big four on behalf of 500,000 agents or 500,000 consumers. Realty Holdings, again, that's the new Anywhere, Home Services America, Remax, and other defendants alleged that the companies illegally kept a system in place, our system, that forced people, sellers, who are selling their homes to pay the broker for both the seller, their representation, and the buyer's representation, which we all know that's the case because you have to put a commission on the buy side. All right. The lawsuit was specific to Missouri and alleged that the companies were violating both the Sherman Act and the Missouri Antitrust Act. All of this is based on antitrust laws. On October 31st of 2023, meaning, ready? Halloween, 3 months ago. All right. NAR and two large brokers were found liable, meaning found guilty, in other words, and forced to pay damages to, and the judge's final verdict eliminated the practice altogether, according to House White. Okay, so now you kind of know what it was about. There's the official thing. So, was there a conspiracy? Okay, it depends on your definition of conspiracy. It depends on how you see conspiracy. Is it conspiracy for me, if I'm selling my house, to pay the commission to the agent representing the buyer? Well, in its strictest sense, yes, that's conspiracy. Now, is it collusion? Yeah, because anytime there is a system or a deal between one side and the other, that's technically collusion. So the fact that I'm paying the buyer's agent makes it collusion, because who should be paying the buyer? According to them, not according to me and not according to NAR, but according to them, the buyer should be paying the buyer's agent. And I'm going to get into exactly why that's important in a minute, so hold on. Now, look at this. This is from Fortune magazine. Americans are taxed $60 billion in real estate commissions, says attorney who just won the $1.8 billion verdict against NAR. Think about this I want you to look at this sentence for a second. How hypocritical could this ever be? Watch. Americans are taxed. Now, is tax a good thing or a bad thing? For most of us, it's a bad thing unless you're a politician. $60 billion. So they're calling our commissions a tax. and this is being said by an attorney. Okay, so let me just ask you a question. Ours are a tax according to this attorney, but their commissions, the attorney's commissions, and they charge 56 or 40 to 50 to 60%, are not. We're charging 5 to 6, they're charging 40% and more, and ours is a tax and theirs isn't. Can you say hypocritical? I can. Now, you can't read this, but let me just give you the summary here. A federal jury ordered NAR, Keller Williams, Berkshire Hathaway, and others to pay $1.8 billion in damages. I'll get to the appeals in a minute. Don't freak out. Sellers must pay, buyers' agents thus violating antitrust laws. Here's the entire case right here. The verdict stated that the defendants conspired to require home sellers to pay the broker representing the buyer for their home, violating federal antitrust laws. There's the entire thing right there. But they needed evidence, and I'm going to show you what they had, because it was just based on that, we probably would have gotten out of it for a few million. You're probably thinking, well, Wellington, this is going to take years to settle because we're going to have the appeals. And you're right. Here's the problem. The verdict already came down. Here's the other problem. This was a federal jury. If you want to appeal a federal jury decision, you have to post what's called a bond. What's a bond? A bond is basically a check, okay? Basically money on behalf of either the insurance companies. I got news for you. No insurance company is going to step up and go, sure, I'll write a check for 1.8 billion NAR. No problem, you bunch of collusions. Not going to happen. Somebody's going to have to come up with this 1.8. Now, is there a chance they're going to get that money back? Yes, through appeals, but they still got to give up. They still got to write that check initially, or whatever the judge comes up with. The jury gave them 1.8. The judge might amend that a little bit to make the check easier to write, but that doesn't matter. The check still has to be written, and the appeals are going to take years. So what that means in a nutshell is we're going to have years, meaning 4, 5, 6 years, where you can be sued because of the case precedent. That's what's important. So just keep that in mind. Now, let me show you what they did to make this really stick. All right. In the case, if it was just based on, well, we've always had a system where the seller pays the buyer's agent commission and the seller is actually signing that they agree and are willing to do so, et cetera, we probably would have won the case. But the plaintiffs and their attorneys and the Department of Justice had evidence that was very, very damning. Let me give you an example. In one of the largest brokerages training manuals, right in the training manual, it said this, and this is just an example. There was lots of this. Do not show a home with less than 2% commission on it. I'm going to let that sink in while I take another sip of my coffee. Can you believe that? They wrote that down. Now, I'm sorry, but that is the dumbest thing I've ever heard anybody write down and print out. Because what does it say? It just reeks of liability. It reeks that we are only about our commissions and not about what's best for the buyer or best for the seller. It's all about our commissions. Push them up, make them high. Because as you know, like in Canada, it's 1%. In Australia, you just do an auction. So this is a very damning sentence. So how do they do this? Let me give you an example. They used very misleading yet true statements. Now, how can it be misleading and true at the same time, Wellington? Let me give you an example. Okay. And I'm gonna upset about half the people by saying this. Let me ask you a quick question. Is it true? Okay, everybody can just nod in your little boxes here. Nod or not. Okay, is it true that in the United States, women only make 77 cents for every dollar a man makes? Is that true or false? False? True. Okay, everybody say that's true or false. Okay, that sentence is true. Women make 77 cents for every dollar a man makes. Now, does that mean that women are paid less than men? No, it doesn't. Good for you, Kim. Look at you. Okay. No, it doesn't. It just means that more men work than women. Okay. Men work more risky jobs. Women take more time off to have children. Thank you. And by the way, thank you very much for doing so. Okay. So it's a total amount of money made by men and the total amount of money made by women. But what does it suggest? It suggests that women are underpaid, and that's not true. Not in the United States. In fact, in the top 25 labor markets, if you compare never married women with no kids versus men, women actually make 4% more. What do you think of that? But the statement is true but misleading, because the statement itself is true, but what it makes you think is untrue. They did the same thing with this case. Let me give you an example. You're going to love this. Watch this. Realtors in the U.S. make as much on a single closing as the average family makes in a year. Now, I have people going, look, okay, the sound of eye rolling in this talk was really loud, and you're being like, are you kidding me? And I agree. That is totally misleading. Is it true? It is. But is it misleading? Completely misleading. Because think about this for a second. This is what they told the jury. Now, the jury already hated realtors. Like, oh, those realtors over there, they make so much money. Have you ever heard, oh, you realtors make so much money and all you do is put a sign in the front yard? Of course, you've heard that 1,000 times in your life. Okay, is it true? No. But is part of it true? Yes. You put a sign in the front yard. But think about it this way. On a normal house, okay, you got any $1 million houses in your market? Hell yeah, you do. I don't care if you live in Mississippi. There's $1 million houses these days. That's the average. In California, the average house is actually more than $1 million if you want to live anywhere other than Skid Row. But my point is, the average household income in the United States is $64,000. That's approved. You can look it up. You can Google it. $64,000 is the average household income. Now, in 2020, 2021, 2022, did we sell houses in days, if not hours, for more than list? Sure did. Sure did. In these years right here, homes were selling for more than asking in as little as days or even hours. We know that's the case. Is it happening now? No, but it did then. On a single home sale, the commission could be 6% of $1 million, 60 grand. This is what the plaintiff's attorneys said to the jury way before cross-examination. So the damage was done. So they're looking at this and they're like, darn those realtors. In hours, you made as much money as I make in a year. Darn you people. Okay, you see with the mentality here? Here's what they didn't say until our attorneys stepped up and explained it. But the damage was done. They didn't say until cross-examination. They didn't say that is a commission is split between two realtors, number one. Okay, the broker can take as much as 30% in their split. There's expensive costs, fees, and other things that come out of that commission. Didn't say that either. And if the home doesn't sell, the realtor takes a loss, doesn't they? Of course they do. So let's kind of go over the numbers here. And this is what the jury didn't get to see until later, but the damage had been done. $60,000 in commission. Let's just say it's $1 million house, 6%. Okay, two realtors. That means each realtor gets 30 grand. Now, let's say that the split is 70-30. Some of you guys got 80-20, 90-10, depending. Okay. So it could be down as much as $9,000. Now you're down 21 grand minus expenses. Most of you spend about $2,500 per closing. So now you're down to 18.5. 18.5 minus about $500 in dues and fees and stuff that you spend per transaction on average over a year takes you down to 18. Now, if you're not having your taxes done by the Kanoki group, our tax repair, which please, I beg you to stick around and just give this a thought. It's worth 5 figures to you every single year. If you're not having your taxes done by Kanoki, you're paying 1/3 of your income in taxes. If you're having it done by Kanoki, you're paying 0, but we'll get to that later. 12 grand. So now you're down to $12,000. The average realtor does 3 transactions a year. That means it's $36,000. Where is this unbelievable wealth that they're talking about? It's not there. But the damage had been done. And that's what happened. So whether you hate him or love him makes no difference to me whatsoever. Democrat, Republican, Libertarian, doesn't matter. I don't care. Okay? Be anything you want. Here are the facts. The facts during the Trump administration. This entire case was settled and over with, meaning we were going to have it, meaning everything we're dealing with now is not going to happen. Okay? The Department of Justice started investigating the real estate industry under the Trump administration in 2018. And NAR agreed to measures including increased price transparency to settle the case. It was done. It was over with. Now, what happened in January 2021? We got a new administration. Okay. Biden officials in 2021 pulled out of the agreement, which has never happened before. They were like, oh, Trump did that. Forget it. We're not honoring it. Okay. The Biden officials pulled out of the agreement saying that they wanted the ability to pursue future antitrust claims against NAR. There's the facts right there. You can look it up in black and white. That's what happened. So love him or hate him, makes no difference to me. This is the truth about this. Now, I wonder why this might be the case. Well, let me take a huge guess. I bet it's all about money. I bet you. Well, the people who are lobbying this gentleman right here are who? Probably those who are going to profit if they get to sue NAR again. Yay! And as you know, in our regular government, the lobbyists rule, don't they? They're the ones with the deep pockets and all the benefits like trips to Tahiti. All right, so Let's talk about exactly what the government thinks you did over the last 5 years. Because prior to 5 years ago, they're not really going back there. Your risk is basically the last 5 years. So back basically about 2018. So if you were in business from 2018 to now, and you're a broker, owner, manager, you're in big trouble. Okay, and I'll explain it. If you're an agent, you might be in trouble. You might not, based on this. So here's what the Department of Justice is saying. They're saying that over the last 5 years, how they came up with this number, who the hell knows? The real estate industry, NAR in other words, and all their cronies, and that's us, cheated. It's a tax. Remember that? Cheated the American public out of $13.7 billion. Okay? So this is the damages that they say the American population suffered under NAR's system over the last 5 years. But here's the problem with that. These are the damages they say they're claiming. And by the way, at this number right here, most brokerages are going to be out of business, including NAR, CAR, and everybody else. Okay? But there's a big problem with this. This is just the damages. Does anybody here know what punitive damages are? So let me give you an example. Let's pretend that Lou Martinez, who's on the call here, Lou or William or Elvira or Karen, okay? Karen's on the call and she's not even complaining. That's amazing. Just kidding. So if Lou Martinez damages me for the tune of $10,000, I can sue him for 10 grand. But I can also sue him for punitive damages, which is basically like a punishment. That's where the word punitive comes from, punishment, which, by the way, in this case, can be 3 times the amount. That's called treble damages. So in other words, the Department of Justice says that NAR owes the American population $40 billion. At that number, every single realtor, every single real estate agency, every single board, and every single MLS is bankrupt right there. So let's talk about exactly who got sued. Number one, National Association of Realtors, Keller Williams, Berkshire Hathaway, Remax, and this company called Anywhere, that's Coldwell Banker, Century 21, ERA, Sotheby's, and etc. Okay? So here are the defendants. Now, here's what happened. At $40 billion, all these companies are out of business. So that's what they're going for. So what happened prior to the verdict in the Sitzer-Burnett case in Missouri, they did this. I know it's getting confusing. It's confusing for everybody. I assure you, I'll tell you what to do to save yourself. Remax settled out of this particular case for $55 million. And Anywhere settled for $83 million. So basically, they agreed to that settlement, those two brokerages, and got out of this particular case. So what it ended up being is National Association of Realtors, Keller Williams, and Berkshire. So what does that mean? Let's talk about it, okay? Here is the pre-verdict, what I call the big 3. So the National Association of Realtors is now under what we call a directive from the Department of Justice to leave them alone, which they're not going to. And we also have all the private lawsuits, so no one's going to get left alone. But here's what the Department of Justice is saying to the National Association of Realtors. You and all your members have to abide by 3 new rules. Here are the 3 rules. Number 1, you can never again say and specially print in writing that buyer's agency is free. Because here's what we've been doing for the last 40 years. We were saying, hey, Mr. and Mrs. Buyer, I'm a buyer's agent. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to watch the market for you. I'm going to find all the houses that are perfect for you. I'm going to research the houses. I'm going to set up showings for the houses. We're going to have showings. I'm going to help you with financing. I'm going to help you get rid of the contingencies. We're going to do the inspections. We're going to do everything that's going to be great. And then I'm going to help you close. And it's going to be fantastic. I'm going to find the house of your dreams. And you're going to move in. I'm going to hand you the keys. And yay. And guess what? The best part of this, Mr. and Mrs. Buyer, is I'm completely free because my commission is paid for by the seller. You can no longer ever say that again. Okay. And if you do, you are putting yourself at massive litigation risk. Do not say that, and especially do not put that in writing in any way, shape, or form, email or other. That's number 1. Number 2 is no MLS system in the world, well, in the country, that is, no MLS system can have a function where you can search. You can search listings exclusively by their commission rate. You cannot do that. Which I've been saying for years, there's no plausible reason why buyer's agents should be able to search the MLS based on commission, because they're basically flat out saying my commission is more important than the criteria of the buyer. So you cannot have an MLS that has a search function based on commission. And here's the last one, and this is going to create everybody's questions. So don't worry, I'm going to get to the questions. Okay. The last one is this. The Department of Justice has now said that no major brokerage can force membership. at the National Association of Realtors, the state boards, or the local boards. Now, most of you are being forced to have memberships at those three entities because the rules are right now in every MLS system is that if your broker of record has a membership at the local board, the state board, and the National Association of Realtors, if you want to have your license under that broker, you also must have a membership at those three entities as well. So basically the Department of Justice is saying they have to do away with that, and membership at NAR must be optional. Okay, hold on. I know everybody's, Wellington, so I don't have to pay my dues. Number one. Number two, so I won't have access to the MLS. Number two. And number three, what about forms? Okay. Very quickly, and if you have questions, write them down. I'll get to them at the end. If you want to put them in the chat box right there, go ahead. I'll answer everybody's questions. Number one, Wellington, I don't have to have a membership at NAR. No, you do not. And the brokerage cannot force you to. Okay, that's number one. Well, if I don't have a membership at NAR, I won't have access to the MLS. That is a fallacy. There are three entities in your state, whether it be California or somewhere else. There's three entities. Number one, the Department of Real Estate. That's where you get your license. Number two, okay, the MLS. This is the storage place for all of our data. This is the MLS. It's an independent corporation. And number three, your state board. Okay, meaning NAR, CAR, WAR, ZAR, BAR, whatever it is. Okay, those three entities. Your state board and the National Association of Realtors do not own the MLSs. It's independent things. What they do is they bill you at the same time for all your dues, and you put the dues combined. So you think they're the same thing. They're not. Every single state, I think except New York, has a state mandated rule and law that says you do not have to have a membership at the National Association of Realtors, your state board, your local board, to have a subscription at the MLS. That is not a requirement. Your broker may make that a requirement, but that's between you and your broker. But think about it this way. Do you know any appraisers? Of course you do. Do they have memberships at NAR? No. Do they have a subscription at the MLS? Yes. Explain to me how that works. Why couldn't you do the same exact thing? So there's the second answer. The third question is, why won't have access to forms, Wellington? Okay. Let me just explain this to you. All right. If you Googled real estate forms, you could probably find 5 versions of the RPA, the listing agreement, and the other 260 forms you need to be a realtor just on Google. Okay, First Tuesday has some. The state board or the state bar has forms. There's dozens of different forms. You as a realtor have been trained, have been brainwashed to think that you have to use CAR forms or WAR forms or whatever forms are in your state. Okay, that's only one set of forms. Most forms that you can use, whether it be the listing agreement, the RPA, or anything else like that, most forms are exactly like the state forms that you're using, except the logo's not at the top. Okay, let me explain this to you. Okay, the sun does not rise and set on forms. I could sit down with you and make up a listing agreement on a napkin. That is legal. If you ask any transaction coordinator, any of them, do you have to have it on a state board form? They'll say no. All they need is the information on any form. I don't care what it is. Once again, a napkin. Did you know? I mean, I've been in real estate so long, 30 years. I just got my AARP card the other day. Old person here. Anyway, my point is, you can write up a contract on anything. You can write up an offer on anything. Do not be brainwashed by thinking you have to do everything on the board's forms. You don't. And by the way, even if you weren't a member of CAR and NAR, you can still get the state board's forms if you wanted them. In the state of California, it's Lone Wolf. You can get an independent subscription to those forms anyway. But by the way, try it. Google real estate forms. See what comes up. Okay, you can go down to Staples and buy forms if you want. They're still there. I used to do it. Okay, First Tuesday, a great company. They offer free forms. And by the way, Career Compass, we're going to have forms as well. For those of you who might want to get into C4 as a backup, yes, insurance for your real estate career. All right, so there's the 3 answers. Now, let me kind of go over exactly why buyer's agency will not be going away. Let me say that again: will not be going away. The government cannot outlaw buyer's agency. Can't do it. Okay, it cannot do it. It can only outlaw certain illegal antitrust rules that govern buyer's agency. Let me explain exactly why. Many experts in the media, and by the way, all those experts out there and all the YouTube videos, they're all wrong. They're all wrong. Guess who's right? I am. It's just my opinion, but I'm right. Now, Many experts in the media and YouTube say this case was about doing away with sellers being able or forced to pay the commission of the buyer's agent. That is absolutely and completely false. That's not what this case was about at all. Here's what this case was about. Number one, this case was about the ability of private law firms to be able to sue the National Association of Realtors and you for money. It was, first off, it was a money grab. Secondly, here's how they're doing it. The real goal of the suit, beyond the obvious huge money settlements, because there's billions of dollars, they think, sitting on the table, is to eliminate the rule, which they can outlaw. They can, okay? They can't outlaw buyer's agency, but they can outlaw the rule that you must put a commission on the buy side. Now, let me show you somebody. This is Ryan Gorman. He is the former CEO of Coldwell Banker International for the entire world, basically. He's like Gary Keller, but for Coldwell Banker. 3 years ago, I'm standing in a park. This is back in 2021. I'm standing in a park watching my daughter, who was 10 at the time, swing on the swings, 9 or 10, whatever. Okay. My phone rings, and it's a Sunday. My cell phone rings. Beef Wellington. Little old Beef Wellington, and it said R. Gorman, New Jersey, which is where Coldwell Banker headquarters is. I pick it up, and the guy goes, "Hi, is this Beef Wellington?" I said, "Yeah." He goes, "Hi, my name's Ryan Gorman, and I'm the CEO of Coldwell Banker." I said, "Yes, sir, I know who you are." He goes, "Do you have a couple of minutes to talk?" I said, "Sure." So basically what he said, he goes, "Please, Wellington, quit telling the 35,000 members of Career Compass that I'm against buyer's agency." I said, "With all due respect, sir, Inman, the Wall Street Journal, New York Times, LA Times, and all the other newspapers are saying that you are on Capitol Hill right now testifying on behalf of our industry and saying that you are against buyer's agency." He goes, "No, here's what I said." The papers and the media twisted my words. I'm like, "No, they would never do that." He goes, "Here's what I said. I said to the Department of Justice, I will lobby NAR and all the other brokerages to get rid of the rule that you have to put a commission on the buy side. Because right now, you got to put at least $1. There's where the collusion comes in. There's where the antitrust comes in. I will eliminate the rule that you have to put a commission on the buy side, knowing that every good listing agent like you would still put a commission, and maybe even a good commission, i.e. 7% technique, on the buy side to attract the best buyer's agents and the best buyers to their listing. Get it? Of course, every smart listing agent would do that. It's only the idiots, and I mean the morons, who go, "Oh, put 0 on the buy side and just pay 3% to me," and running around town saying that buyer's agency is illegal now. Those are idiots. They're cutting their own throat. Anyway, let's go back to this. And I said, "Wow, Ryan, that's really interesting." They didn't say that in the news. He goes, "Yeah, what this does, if the Department of Justice accepted that, it gets rid of the entire case. Gone, no more Sitzer Burnett, no nothing." Okay, but they didn't do it. So I'm a pretty smart guy, right? So I said to him, I said, "Ryan, why are you calling me?" He goes, "Well, I've got a list of people to call in the state of California. I've already spoken to Carr. Career Compass is number 2. He said, "You are the second biggest entity. Career Compass, guys. You want to get some training? You wanted to come to a seminar? We are the second biggest entity of real estate agents in all of California." I'm like, "Wow, thank you very much, Ryan. I appreciate that." So that's what happened. They were getting rid of the rule. Now, here's what this does. If you just get rid of the rule, you can still enter a buyer's agent commission in the contract. It cannot be eliminated. You cannot say that's illegal. Here's why. Let me read this. You know where this comes from, something called the Constitution. "There can be no law that infringes on the rights of free contract between or among sovereign citizens." So whether the rule is there or not, any smart listing agent is still going to put a commission on the buy side. You can't outlaw buyer's agency. You can only outlaw the rule that you have to have buyer's agency. Get it? So who is really going to save real estate? It's not buyer's agents. It's listing agents who know things like the 7% technique. Get it, guys? Please tell me you're getting this, because otherwise, here's what we're going to do. Okay. So you can still put your 3% on that side, or 2.5%, or whatever it is. So let me explain buyer's agency to you really quick, okay? Many experts in the media and YouTube say that if buyer's agent commission no longer must be paid by the seller, the solution to this, because all the buyer's agents are nervous about their business going away, the solution is to simply to become a better buyer's agent, improve your skills, be a better buyer's agent, okay? And thus the buyer will be willing to pay your commission themselves. Ready for this? Absolutely wrong. That is ridiculous. That is the stupidest thing I've ever seen. Yeah, everybody on YouTube is like, "Hey, buyer's agents here to how to protect yourself, okay? Improve your skills." No, that ship has sailed. Let me explain why. Let me explain why that ship has sailed. For 40 years, we've been telling our clients that we're free. That's number one. Number two, so now we're going to go back to them and go, okay, well, the media is telling you that we've been cheating you for 40 years. Thank you, lawsuits. But what I've done now is instead of cheating you for 40 years like I have, I've gone and improved my skills. So now I want you to go into your pocket, even after escrow, even outside of escrow, and take $25,000 out of your pocket to pay me. What buyer is going to buy that stupid excuse? Nobody is. So let me explain exactly how it works now. Ready? Let's say that this road right here is from beginning to end of a buyer, okay? Someone who's wanted to buy a house. Here's how it was 20 years ago. 20 years ago, I want to buy a house. So I call my buyer's agent. Let's call her Mary. I call Mary up and say, Mary, I want to buy a house. I want 4 bedrooms, 3 baths. I want a certain area of town, blah, 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 blah. And she goes, Wellington, I got it. I'm going to go to work for you. I'm going to find the houses. I'm going to set up showings. Okay? I'm going to eliminate contingencies. I'm going to help you with financing, and we're going to close. Isn't that kind of how it works? Correct. That's how it was 20 years ago. But now they don't do it that way, do they? When your buyer wants to buy a house, what do? They go to Zillow, Open Door, OfferPad, Realtor.com, which we don't even own anymore. What kind of ridiculous trade organization sells its own name to Rupert Murdoch from Fox News? Who does that? And by the way, when they sold your name down the river, when they sold you to Rupert Murdoch, did you get a reprieve on your dues? No, they just took that money and pocketed it. Ugh. Anyway, so this is not what happens anymore. Now, 20 years later, 2024, I wake up and I want to buy a house. So guess what I do? I go to Zillow, Open Door, OfferPad, and I do all of this myself. And maybe at the end of the transaction, I bring in a buyer's agent, or I just avoid the buyer's agent altogether because I've got that. So are you really serious about thinking that you're going to go to your buyers and go, okay, you need to pay me because I've improved my skills, even though I've been cheating you for 40 years? Not a chance. Solving this problem by improving your skills as a buyer's agent is the same thing as putting a forest fire out by pissing on it. Theoretically, that works. Theoretically, you can put a forest fire out by pissing on it. Is it going to work in real life? Not a chance in hell. So how do we save buyer's agent? Here's how we save it. Now, I want to go over the $1.8 billion verdict, okay, because this leads into what I'm talking about. This was the verdict out of the Sitzer-Burnett case in Missouri. All right, what's happened since then? Well, one day later, the same exact lawsuit was filed in Illinois. Then, 1 week after that, we had another one in Georgia. 1 week after that, another one, another one, another one, another one. It's gotten crazy. Here's what's going on. There are cases in Illinois, Georgia, New York, Arizona, Texas, Nevada, and yes, folks, right here in California now. And which is amazing because I literally read every single word of CAR's press release when they said, oh yeah, here's what's going on with this case. It'll never come to California. We'll never have cases here. Think about that for a second. I want you to think about that. We have more realtors, higher commissions, and a third to 40% of all the real estate commissions paid to realtors in the entire country is California. And they think that we're just going to avoid the whole lawsuits? Sure, these lawyers are just going to skip California. That is the stupidest thing I've ever heard in my life. Anyway, California Realtor Group, copycat commissions, there they are, and here it is. So let me explain the newest development, okay, which you may have read. Okay, here's the newest development. What the government wants to do is they want to combine these cases, okay? The Austin Board of Realtors in Texas has now petitioned to be left alone. And what I mean left alone, here's what the government wants to do. The government wants to combine the class action lawsuits out of like Oklahoma and Arizona and Texas and Minnesota, combine them into one. It's called an ADL or something like that. Okay, combined CDL or something. Combined litigation development. Anyway, it's got some acronym. They want to combine it. What is it, Donna?
It's the MDL.
Okay.
Multi-district litigation or something of that nature.
Litigation. Okay. They want to combine it into an MDL and put the entire case for all those states back in the same court that gave all of us the $1.8 billion verdict. Gee, I wonder who's pushing for that. Well, it isn't us. It's clearly those lawyers and those lobby groups that are looking for that because they're going to put it right back into the the den of money, into the pit of despair that got us the $2 billion settlement. So that's what's going on right now. There are so many cases happening right now. And why are there so many cases? Watch this. Here's what this means, okay, for everybody. Okay, should brokers be worried? Yes, and here's why. If you are a broker, manager, owner of a brokerage, if you have had your broker real estate DRE number on a transaction, buy side or listing side, in the last 5 years, you have a target on your back this big, because any private lawyer, forget about the Department of Justice, any private lawyer can fire up their laptop and sue any broker for any amount of money on behalf of any client, buy, sell, that has happened in the last 5 years. Let me explain how this works. Well, I'm a lawyer. I call you up. You're a broker, owner, manager. And I say, well, you represented Joe Smith or Mary Smith in a listing or a buy 3 years ago. They feel that they were overcharged. Why do they feel that? Because I advertised that to them and they came to me on a contingency basis. And I said, I will take 40% of anything you get and it's free money. That's why they did it. Duh. So Joe and Mary Smith think that they were overcharged. And we are suing you for the damages of $50,000, but we're also suing you for another $200,000 in punitive damages. So we're suing you for $250,000. Would you like to settle, Mr. Broker Agent? Okay. Yes, you would. For 100 grand. Thank you very much. Write a check. How many times can most brokerages write that check? Not very many. That's what's going on. So if you are a broker or manager, okay, broker, owner, or you own a brokerage somewhere or a franchisee, you are on the target list. So they should really, because you are the ones who are getting sued. Let me go ahead and shift gears here. Now, see this? This is where they're coming from. Let me read this to you for those you can't see it. This is an ad on Facebook. Did you work with a realtor to buy or sell a home recently? If so, your realtor may have charged you excessive commissions. See if you may be entitled to compensation. Click right there. Well, that's just one, Wellington. No, it isn't. Just in a quick little Facebook search, I found 5 or 6. Here's another one. Realtor commission overcharge lawsuit. Realtor commission overcharge lawsuit. Message me. Click right here and get your commissions back. Well, okay, that's a couple. No, there's dozens of them, and we just started. HomeSmart commission fees higher than you expected. You may be a victim of price fixing and able to recover some fees. Sold a home with HomeSmart. Click right here. You likely overpaid. And I'm not picking on HomeSmart. They're actually a small brokerage compared. Everybody is going to get this. This is just an example. And they're advertising everywhere. And by the way, all these law firms are taking this on contingency. So, hey, what? Hey, Mr. and Mrs. Seller or buyer, you paid too much. Let's sue these people for 500 grand. We'll probably get 100, maybe $150,000 out of it. I'll keep a third. You keep the rest. It's free money. What do you think? Sure. Why not? Isn't that the mentality of the United States right now? Free money, free. Yes, it is. So there you go. So if you're a broker, owner, manager, you should be worried. Now, should you be worried if you're an agent? Yes or no, depending. Should you be worried as an agent that you're going to get sued? All right, let me just address that right up front. Probably not. Can your broker sue you? Yeah. Will they? Unlikely. Here's why. You have 2 plausible deniabilities against being sued. Number 1, you never owned the listing. Who owned the listing? The broker. They always own the listing. And number 2, you are viewed as not having enough money to bother with. Those 2 things are probably going to keep you litigation free as an agent. But Wellington, who cares if I'm getting sued or not? If the brokers are all going to go out of business, this entire industry is going to be handed to Zillow, and I'm not going to have a job. Boom. That's what you should be worried about. Why do you think our seminars and our coaching program is packed? It's packed because agents know that in the future, we're not going to be able to go, well, you have to list. You have to list in the MLS, and you have to put a buyer's agency commission. They don't have to anymore. They're going to have options, and you're going to need to prove to your clients and future clients and prospective clients and past clients that you are worth your commission, because I got news for you. Right now, they are being told that you cheated them, and you must counter that. We're already seeing people leave the industry in groves. The National Association of Realtors has already admitted 30% of their agents are not going to stay in the business. Don't let that be you. So should some of you be worried? Some of you should be worried. you are going to need to improve your skills. And that's where Career Compass comes in more than any company, because you're going to have the hugest opportunity ever in the history of real estate. Let me show you why. Now, in the wake of all the lawsuits, consumers are going to be angry at you because you cheated them, confused, misinformed, jaded, and have no idea how the system works anymore. Well, this whole thing is just a big scam, I was told by the Wall Street Journal. Okay, so there will be immense pressure on commission rates going down, i.e., ready? How do you counter that? 7% technique. I'll show it to you. Because of that, many agents will not only do fewer deals, but if all you know how to do is cut your commissions, put a listing in the MLS, wait for it to sell, and collect a check, yes, you should be very worried, because that's not how real estate's going to be anymore. Let me explain this to you. If you are a regular agent and you've been calling me every 90 days for the last 10 years using the Ford method on me, family, occupation, recreation, dreams, FORD, who do you know is going to be buying or selling in the next 90 days? If that's your marketing, you should be very, very worried, because here's why. Let's say you've been calling me every 90 days for the last 10 years and we have a relationship. Relationships aren't going to matter anymore. Money's going to matter, because I have equity now. And if you're going to give me 90% of my equity and I have $800,000 in equity, you just cost me 80 grand. That ain't good enough. But if I meet somebody in the grocery store aisle that in 5 minutes can show me numerically, that they can put more money in my pocket using things like the 7% technique, the EAT, the PAT, the lawyer letter, and all this other stuff that Career Compass teaches, I'm going with them. I got news for you. Your relationships are not going to matter. So let's kind of go over why this means something. Okay. It will not only be the listing agent that saves the buyer's agent's commission, but they will save the industry as a whole. Only the listing agents that can show the seller numerically, how putting an optional commission on the buy side, and a big one, will put more money in the seller's pocket, are going to be the ones who are going to survive this industry 100%. That sounds just like the 7% technique, doesn't it? It sure as heck does, and you must know that. Many of you are like, well, I have an agent at the brokerage here that's like, oh, this is going to clean house. This is going to get rid of all the riffraff. Interesting comment. Do you believe that? Let me ask you a quick question. If you believe that, can you do the 7% technique for me right this minute? Can you also do where's my clicker? Here we go. Okay. Do you know how to do the lawyer letter, so lawyers call you automatically when they have a client? Because there's going to be a lot of that. Can you convince an HOA in 5 minutes to endorse your brokerage and your real estate services? Do you know how to get into the biggest opportunity in the history of real estate, which is the senior market? Do you know how to beat Open Door? Do you know the deal a week technique? Do you know how to get a commission override clause? Because if the answer to this is no, guess what? You're the agent that's probably going to get cleaned out of this business. But the ones who know this kind of stuff are going to be unbelievably ready to pick up all the lost business of everybody else. That's your saving grace. So with that being said, let me explain this to you real quick. So here's the bottom line for this, and then I'll kind of explain what I mean. Regardless of which brokerage survive and which ends up being sued, the agent can and will survive, but will only be the agents that have advanced tools, techniques, and systems to prove to their constituents, their clients, that they're worth their commission, because your clients are being told rampantly right now that you cheated them and you're not worth a dime. You must have tools and techniques to counter that. Okay, so let me kind of go over it. Do you know the 7% technique? Do you know the EAT, the PAT, the lawyer letter? Okay. Do you know all these advanced tools and techniques that less than 1% of all agents in our world know? If you do know them and you are able to do those in a listing presentation, not only are your clients going to pay you a full commission, but they're going to insist on everybody else that they know who is selling using you as well. And that is the key. Let me shift gears real quickly here. And I know you have questions. Don't worry, I'll get to all of them. And I want to talk about your taxes while we still have time. Okay. Now, let me kind of go over this. This right here is who I was talking about before. The other big part of your business is, are you going to pay taxes? I'm going to say this up front to wet your whistle. Ready for this? If you are paying less than if you are earning or making GCI less than $250,000 a year, your tax obligation legally within the tax code with almost zero risk of an audit should be zero or very close to it. Yep, I said it. And your tax obligation to your state, especially state of California, should be about $800. That's it. If you're making more than $250, you should be paying a little taxes, but at 3, 4, maybe 5% of your total gross, not 17 to 29, which is what you're paying now. Let me go over it. This right here, the next 5 minutes of your life, it's going to change your financial future more than any single thing, including your volume. Watch this. Now, this is Derek Long. This is an example of literally 10,000 agents who've had their taxes done by the Kanoki Group. Derek Long lives in Murrieta, California. Not a bad place. Now, in 2020, his GCI was $91,000. Okay, not a bad GCI, not the highest GCI of all time, but not bad. 91 grand. And he was an LLC or a sole proprietor. Now, before I continue, most of you, 95% of you are LLCs, sole proprietor, Schedule C filers, or C Corps. And by the way, if you are any of those things, and by the way, if you don't know what you are, you're a sole proprietor. If you are any of those things, you are literally paying the highest taxes known to the tax code. And on top of that, you are at the highest risk of an audit of the tax code. So what should you be? Ready for this? I want everybody to write this down. This is half of your money. You should be a sub-chapter S corporation. Say it again, sub-chapter S corporation. Now, only a small percentage of the population qualifies to be a sub-chapter S corporation, and you're one of them. You want to know why? You have a specialized license. So congratulations on that. You have a specialized license that actually allows you to file as a sub-chapter S corporation. That's step number one. Step number two is filing with somebody who knows the tax code better than the people who wrote it, which is the Kanoki Group. The Kanoki Group is the #1 tax preparation service company in the United States that does taxes only and exclusively for realtors. They are absolutely #1. Nobody even comes close to them. Let me show you how it works. So Derek, who's a realtor, paid $91,000 in taxes in 2020, and he was a sole proprietor or an LLC just like you. The next year, oh, and by the way, his tax preparer said you owe $12,000. He was happy with that. $12,000, and he was happy. 12 grand out of 91 is about 14%. He goes, wow, that's pretty good. Only 14%. The next year, Derek was in our C4 program, which allows you to have Bill Kanoki do your taxes and puts money in your pocket every single year, guaranteed. The next year, he actually was a sub-chapter S corporation, having his taxes done by Kanoki. Kanoki sets everything up for you, does everything for you. He made $112,500. He made 20 grand more in this year than he did in this year. On this year, you know what his taxes were? His taxes were a refund of $2,500. A refund of $2,500. So not only did he make 20 grand more, but he actually got a refund. That's a real tax return. I can show it to you. Let me show you this. Ready? This is a text from my phone. Got my taxes done with Kanoki today. I'm filed, but he's super busy. That sounds great. Yeah, he's busy, I said, but for good reason. Let me put it this way. Okay, Dwayne said. At first, I thought there must be some mistake. Okay, what does that mean? You paid 0 taxes for 2021? That was me. No, actually, no. Ready? My GCI was just over 80K, and I'm getting a refund of 4,500. These are real tax returns. So from your quarterly taxes, your quarterly payments, because you got to make quarterly payments, everybody, you know that. Whatever they were, you're getting 4,500 of it back? No, I actually mistakenly didn't make any quarterly payments. Wait. You paid 0 to the government and you're getting money back? Yes, the refund would have been larger, but I paid a small fine for not filing my quarterlies. That's a real conversation between me and somebody on my phone. I can show you thousands more. This last example will blow your mind. Ready for this? William P. became a real estate professional in 2008. He made $86,000 that year. Not bad for his first year. Career Compass member. Awesome. He paid $4,600 to the state of California, or the state taxes, paid $11,000 to the federal government for a total of 18%. Sound familiar? Yes, that's about what you're paying. 2009, he made more, paid 19%. 2010, 17%. And 2011, paid 17% again. Ready for this? In 2012, the Kanoki Group and the Career Compass merged into one company. So the first year that this guy was able to have his taxes done as a sub-chapter S corporation with the Kanoki Group was 2012. Watch this. On a higher volume, 800 to the state, 0 to the Fed for a 0.5% tax rate. This is what your taxes should look like. And if you're a sub-chapter S corporation having your taxes done by the Kanoki Group, it will be. Look at the savings. He saved basically 20 grand here. There's another 20 grand, saving $20,000 every single year. You are paying a 5-figure gift to the government that you don't have to pay. Now, here's what you're probably thinking. Oh, well, he's going to get audited here in the green and not the red. Other way around. The green numbers have the lowest the lowest chance of an audit known to the tax code. In fact, it's almost zero. The red has an 870% higher chance of getting an audit. What you pay in taxes does not establish your audit risk. How you file. Again, LLC, sole proprietor, Schedule C, C Corp, all of those, you're getting audited. Sub-Chapter S corporation making less than $10 million, the chance of an audit is literally the lowest known to the tax code. So here's 2014. Look at this. He's getting really close to that $250,000 mark, isn't he? Sure is. In 2015, he went over 250,000 and he started to pay again. Why? 250 is where the government decides where rich people and poor people are. He started paying again, but look at the percentage, 5%. So there's 16, there's his 17 taxes, 18, and 19. These green numbers is what your taxes should look like, not these red numbers. And Bill Kanoki does this for our members every single year in and year out. We get thousands of testimonials and emails, people saying, I just got my taxes done with Kanoki and I paid 30 grand less, just like that one I saw you in the beginning, 30 grand less than last year, and I made more money. So how do you get this done? I explained our seminar. Let me explain C4 to you. C4 is called Career Compass Concierge Connection. This is a program that every single realtor should be in because it actually puts money in your pocket. It's literally free. Let me show you. Every single month, you get coached live via Zoom, just like we are right now, live. Like you could stop me, ask questions, and any of our trainers, okay? There's marketing, there's lending, there's taxes, there's social media, there's senior market, et cetera, et cetera. Every single month, you get 8 different master trainers who are going to coach you live via Zoom. And it's unbelievable. The coaching has amazing results. Let me give you an example, okay? Watch this.
Hey, good afternoon, Beef Wellington and the folks at Career Compass. This is Robert Weichelt with EXP out of San Diego. I want to touch base a little bit on the lawyer letter. I sent out over 100 lawyer letters. I've already received 7 listings from 3 different attorneys. Thank you, C4 Coaching.
Okay, this guy is in our C4 program. Okay, he logged on for the very first time, one session, learned the lawyer letter technique, which is one out of 116 different techniques you're going to learn. That one technique he did for one afternoon, sent out 100 letters. We've already written the letter for you. All you got to do is put the lawyer's name at the top, your name at the bottom, and send it out. It's literally foolproof, and it's the least amount of work you'll ever do. Over January and February, okay, of last year, he got 7 listings from that one afternoon of work. Is that good enough for you? That is twice as much listings, twice as many transactions as the average realtor gets all year in the United States. And he got it from one afternoon of training on our program. And that's just one technique. You can't not know this stuff, guys. So every month you get coached by our master trainers, but you also get this, something called Learning with Legends. Every month we bring in other people who are guest speakers on how they became massively successful in real estate. There's Ken Brazil. There's Carol Hacker. This man right here, Tom Daves, is the number 8 realtor in the history of real estate. Number 8, and he's one of our trainers. So every single month, we bring in guest speakers who are massively successful to teach you live. You can talk to them in person, live, exactly how they were so successful via Zoom every single month. And every session that we have is recorded, because one of the other things that you get is a yearly tune-up of your business with our trainers. You also get Masters on Demand. So not only do you get the group coaching via Zoom, you get individual one-on-one coaching as well on any of the tools and techniques. Every single thing is recorded, so you actually get a complete video library of every session we've ever had. That's one thing that most coaching never has. You get a complete video library. You can go back and review any of these tools and techniques anytime you want, 24/7, 365 days a year. No coaching has that. It's unbelievable. That is a great, great thing. Now, you also get this thing called Listing Booster, and we'll talk about that later. That's how to create your website correctly. It's amazing. You also get reserved seating if you ever come to one of our events. If not, don't worry about it. Okay, you get reserved seating. We also have a private reception at our events just for you C4 members. Now let's get serious. Watch this. Let me ask you a quick question. Let's say you work in Antioch, California, okay, or Portland, Oregon, or I don't know, Boise, Idaho. If I put in Boise, comma, realtor, or your town, comma, realtor into Google, where would you come up? Probably nowhere. Probably page 20. Okay, it's nowhere. What this program does is another benefit out of the 13 different benefits you get for C4. It improves your Google search results, meaning when somebody searches for a realtor, you come up higher. Here's why. It's all about search algorithms, also known as metadata. This right here is a complete page on the Career Compass website, the second biggest website for realtors in the state of California, next to who? CAR. Okay. And it's like the 10th biggest one for all real estate. Here is your picture, a link, another link, follow, profile, blog, boom, boom, boom. Here's a blurb about your business as well as a video. All of these links do what to your metadata? Every single month pushes them up, pushes them up, pushes them up. People pay thousands of dollars a month for that. And you get it for free in our program. It's unbelievable. So there's another huge benefit. Now, if you're in the state of California, we'll still renew your license. If you can't make it to one of the seminar, we have an auto renewal program in our program. So don't worry if you can't make it to one of our seminars, we'll still get your license done through our third-party affiliate company. 12thly, DRE audit defense. If you ever get one of these, and half of you will get one, this is a DRE audit letter, and they're trying to pinch your license. Don't respond to it. Take a picture of it just like this. You send it to Career Compass. We respond to the DRE for you. That could save your license. DRE audit defense. And if that doesn't get it done, we'll refer you to our lawyers and they'll take care of it. This is an amazing benefit. And the last thing, but not the leastly, this right here. If you are a C4 member, Bill Kanoki will take you as a client. If you called Bill Kanoki at their number and said, hi, I'm a realtor, I'd like to have my taxes done, they'll say, sorry, we're not taking any more clients. We have a 300-person waiting list. Click. However, if you're in C4, you're guaranteed he will take you as a client to do your taxes. How much does it? It's less than what you're paying now. And you're going to pay 90 to 95% less taxes. That's honest. I'll show it to you right now. This right here, just this one benefit, let alone all the other benefits, just this one pays for your C4 membership for decades. I'll show this to you. This will blow your mind. All of these benefits, all 12 of these benefits, every single month to you, you're probably thinking, what, Wellington, it's $1,000 or something crazy, right? Nope. That's what most coaching is. This is going to make you laugh. Watch this. You want to know why we have thousands of people in this already? Here's why. Is it $300 to $500? No. The entire program, all of these benefits, including having Bill Kanoki do your taxes, all of this, every single month. Ready? Not $1,900, not $19,000, $19. It's a trip to McDonald's. And by the way, I want to show you how good this is. If you're thinking, well, Wellington, it can't be any good if it's that cheap. Watch this. There's no contract. If it's not great, you can quit anytime you want, but nobody quits this program. Just the tax reduction pays for this every single year, 100 times over. Just that one small benefit. I tell people, you want to pay no taxes and be successful in real estate, get into C4 for the rest of your life. It's guaranteed, and I want to stress that fact, guaranteed to put money in your pocket every single year, no matter how active or inactive you are in it. It's amazing. Now, let me show you why. This is the Kanoki group, and here's Career Compass. Okay, we merged back in 2012. Watch this. How much does an average realtor make? $99,000. Let's just take that as an average. Okay. Here is the married filing jointly tax returns. And here's single filers. After splits, you're probably in this category right here. If you're making 99 grand, you're between 19,000 and 80 grand as far as taxable income. So that's 12%. Over here, you're 22% if you're a single filer. So if you're paying 12 to 22% to the federal government. Keep those numbers in mind. Now, what is the state taxes? State taxes are right here. If you're making $99,000, you're probably in the $91,000, okay, $45,000 to $91,000 category. You're paying 8%. That's the state taxes. So what's 12 plus 8? 20. What's 22 plus 8? 30. So everybody is paying somewhere between 20 and 30% in taxes. That's the average tax rate. Let's go over the numbers. Watch this. Average realtor, 99 grand. Splits, fees, and expenses, 27,000. Taxable gross, 71.8. Many of you are right there. Average taxes, $17,000. Most of you are paying $15,000, $20,000, $30,000 in taxes. If Bill Kanoki only cut your taxes by half, and I want to stop here. If he only cut it by half, which by the way, he's not going to cut your taxes by half. He'll cut it by 80 to 90%. Yep, we guarantee that. If he only cut it by half, he'd save you $8,900. C4, our program is $19 a month, no contract, quit anytime you want, okay? And that's the nice thing about it. If a coaching company is really as good as they say they are, why do they need a contract? We need no contracts because we're the real deal. $19 a month, which is $200 a year. So in other words, just the Bill Kanoki benefit is guaranteed every year to put $8,700 in your pocket. Doesn't get better than that. Okay. That's if you didn't do anything else. Now, our live seminar, $195. That's what I talked about at the beginning of the program. $195 one time, and you get to come to our seminars for free, for life, forever. License renewal through our third-party affiliate company, open bar networking, and the best training you'll ever have. $19 a month for our Career Compass Zoom-based coaching, which is everything I just went over. All 13 of those, 12 or 13 of those benefits, including Bill Kanoki doing your taxes, which puts $8,700 in your pocket every single year, even if you didn't do anything else. One closing pays for this 75 times over. One closing pays for this, guess how many times? For 66 years. There is no decision-making on this, folks. These are the two greatest programs in the history of real estate. Here's how you get signed up for them. Every single person should at least be in C4 minimum. It's guaranteed to put money in your pocket, or it's free. And we guarantee, there's never been anybody in our program that didn't put money in their pocket. Never happened. Okay? Here is the QR code to get signed up for one of our live seminars. Okay, we'd love to have you. Here's the QR code to get signed up for C4. They're going to put both of those links right in the chat box right here. Okay, scan that to go to one of our seminars. Scan that to become part of C4. Every single realtor on the planet, minimum, should be in this program right here. It puts money in your pocket. It guarantees your survival. It guarantees your license renewal if you need that. Our third-party affiliate company, networking. These two programs are the most successful success programs ever in real estate for the state of California, ever, right here. And they're at the lowest cost of anything that's ever been. I mean, $19, guys, that's a trip to McDonald's. Try it for a month. If you tried it for a month and didn't work, what'd you lose? $19, and we'll guarantee that. So don't even worry about it. So there you go, $19, okay? And you can quit anytime you want. Most people never quit because it puts money in their pocket every single month, month after month after month. Can you really afford not to at least try this? Honestly. I mean, if you just tried this for a year, it's a whopping $228, and it's guaranteed to put at least 8,000 or 9,000 in your pocket, even if you didn't learn anything. And we're going to have you learn things. We're going to have you learn the 7% technique, which will save your career, and the EAT, the PAT, the lawyer letter, the deal of the week technique, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. All these advanced tools and techniques most realtors will never, ever, ever learn. You can't afford to not learn them. We're going to teach you all of those at our program, as well as cut your taxes by 90%. Every single realtor should do at least this, if not both of these. Now, do you have to buy them both? You do not. You can have this one, or this one, or this one, or this one, or neither, or both, whatever you want to do. They're separate products. This is our coaching program. All those great benefits I just went over. This is our live seminar that I described in the beginning of our program. There's the two products. They're completely separate by one or the other. Every realtor should at least, at minimum, be in this one right here. Guaranteed to put money in your pocket. Okay, so I'm gonna get out of the way so you can scan that QR code, or you can click the link right in the chat box right there, or you can go to thecareercompass.com. Let's all say it together. Thecareercompass.com. 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 There you go. Now, all right. So do we have any quick questions while people are scanning their QR codes and signing up for minimum C4? Guys, $19 a month. I got to say this again. The upside to this is amazing. The downside of this is zero. There's no downside whatsoever. Can you really afford at this point in real estate to not at least try this? Many people in California are saying that C4 is the replacement for car. Okay, is it? No, but I mean, we do a lot of things for you and a lot of things that you need. It's amazing. Okay. All right. We're going to open it up to quick questions here. And while people are scanning their QR codes and getting signed up.
Beef, there were a few questions from earlier. Let me scroll back here. A couple of people wanted to know who the 2% brokerage was. So you had talked about a brokerage that said they cannot show a home with less than 2% commission.
No, I'm not telling you. Look, I'm not. Okay, guys, I know y'all want to know. Okay, here, okay. That was just one example. Okay, that was from one of the major brokerages, one of the big four. That was one of the big four. Okay, and that was just an example of some of the evidence they had in court. I'm not going to say who it is. That was just one that really, really was obvious about the fact that we're interested in our commissions and not what's good for the seller or the buyer. Are we? No, we're good people that do a good job that's in a service that's much, much needed. But saying that do not show a house that has less than 2% commission on it is a blatant example of us thinking about our commissions and not the needs of the consumer. And they used that as antitrust evidence. So I cannot tell you who it was, but it was one of the four major ones. You got a 1 in 4 chance of guessing. But here's the thing, even if you did guess right, it doesn't matter because they had that kind of evidence on every single one of those brokerages. Because for years we've been saying this. We've been saying, hey, don't sell, don't show houses that have low commissions. And by the way, is that true? Of course it's true. Look, you got into real estate to make money. Okay? Money matters. If money matters, more money matters more. That's why the 7% technique that we will teach you coming and going inside and out is so unbelievably important and unbelievably valuable to your real estate career, because it will save your career. It will save real estate, because it's all about pushing the equity of your seller's home up. That's what it does. And that's your fiduciary responsibility. You must be able to do that. And with the 7% technique, you are able to do that. So you're actually addressing your seller's fiduciary responsibility and doing what you should do as a realtor within the laws by using the 7% technique. It is the revolution in real estate that I'm talking about.
Someone had a question when you were talking about the lawyer letter. In light of all the litigation, they're wondering, is it a good thing to hook up with lawyers at this point?
Yes. Are you kidding? Okay, think about it this way. The entire world is suing itself. Everybody's suing everybody. The lawyer letter has been so unbelievably white hot effective. And when I say effective, what I mean is effective at getting listings. Because what happens is a lawyer, okay, let's say I'm going to talk to Karen here, or Kiko, or Sylvia, or Kim, or Anthony, and I'm saying, hey, it's Shyster Lawyer there, Kim. Hey, Kim, when we met a few weeks ago, and you wrote me that wonderful letter that we already wrote for you guys. When you wrote me that wonderful letter, you said you can come down and get my client's houses sold right away. Yes, I can. Come on down. Do you really think that client that's sitting in front of their lawyer is going to go, well, I'm going to interview 3 other agents? No, they're going to go, do you have a listing contract with you? Yes, sir, I happen to have one. Sign right here. Boom. It is the easiest, fastest way to get listings, and the lawyers beckon to you and they want you. You're providing a needed service, and no, you don't have to give them a referral. All right. So yes, guys, you must learn the lawyer letter. And as far as lawyers, you are not going to be partnering with the same lawyers that are suing the real estate industry. I assure you, you're going to be partnering with lawyers who have clients that need to sell, buy, rent, or lease in a quick way right now. And you're going to be the agent that gets all that business. How about that for marketing?
Someone questioned, I'm not quite sure what the question was pretty simple. So maybe you will figure out what they're asking. What are the thoughts on lenders? Okay.
Here's the thoughts on lenders. Okay, and here's where that's coming from. 60%, 6 out of 10. 6 out of 10 loan officers, lenders, have not renewed their NMLS license in the last 3 years. It's a big problem. Now, you're probably thinking, Wellington, some of that is because there's no refinance business right now, and you'd be right. But as lending goes, real estate goes. 60% of LOs are not in the business anymore. What does that mean? That means probably 30 or 40% of realtors in a certain standard deviations of time are not going to be in the business either. And it's not going to be because you don't want to be in the business. It's because your phone is going to stop ringing. The media is out there telling your clients that they shouldn't list with you because you're a crook and you've cheated them all these years. You need to get trained on how to do advanced tools and techniques from the Career Compass so you can show all of your clients that you are not only not a crook, but you're one of the only realtors out there that can justify and prove that they're worth every dime of their commission and more. And that's exactly what our training does. And we've done that for 35,000 agents. There's nothing like Career Compass anywhere in the state of California. So don't be one of those agents that's getting out of this business because you have to. Don't go be forced to go get a job. This is a great business and you can make tons of money. And the agents that survive this business, survive this time, are going to be the ones who massively explode their business. And if you did 10 transactions before and you learned the kind of stuff that we're going to be teaching you, you're going to start doing 30 or 40. Your business is going to triple or quadruple based on what we're going to teach you. And on top of that, you're going to pay no taxes. Doesn't get any better than that, guys. Every single agent on this call should be joining C4 right now. It puts money in your pocket, guaranteed every year. There is no other product like it. And we've done it for thousands of agents.
Okay, Beef, we got a couple more questions. So first question out, in California, can your local board require you to be a part of CAR and NAR? So if you can explain
No.
how, okay.
No. Okay, there is no required mandate. Now, your board cannot require membership. Okay. I don't care what they say. Now, if you call your board, they'll say, oh, yeah, you got to be a member of the board. Of course, they're going to say that. If I called you and said, how do I sell my house? Are you going to say, oh, sell it FSBO? No, you're going to say, you've got to sell it with a realtor. Of course, your board is going to tell you that you have to be a member of the board. You don't. There is no mandate anymore. It's illegal. The Department of Justice has said to the National Association of Realtors, you cannot mandate membership. So your fight is not with your board. Your fight is with your broker. Your broker can still mandate that you be a member. So you need to go to your broker and say, hey, NAR and CAR and our local board is not representing us. We need to push back. And I don't want to be a member of this organization that basically takes our money and funnels it to Zillow. You need to have a conversation with your broker. The decision will always lie with your broker. Get a good broker.
Okay, second follow-up question. If you have a seller who constantly complains about commission cost and they've already explained to the seller how commissions work, what would you recommend? She's already given the option to cancel the contract.
Okay, nope, do not cancel. Mr. and Mrs. Let me go over a little bit of training here. Fantastic. Mr. and Mrs. Seller, let me ask you a quick question. Okay, if I can show you numerically, if I can actually show you on a piece of paper, on a spreadsheet, where a higher commission puts more actual dollars in your pocket than a lower commission, would you want to see that? Well, of course I would. Fantastic. And by the way, do you really care how much money I make? Do you care how much money the buyer's agent makes? No, you care how much money you make. So let me ask you a quick question. If I can show you a system, I'll go ahead and switch it because I think that we might get a better result. I'm going to switch your listing to something called the 7% technique, and let me show you exactly how it works. And after I show you this, if you don't agree and you don't like it, we'll cancel the whole thing. You can get out of the listing. But I think after I show you this and I show you the actual numbers, you're going to be thrilled by this because you're not going to care about commissions anymore. You're only going to care about what you make. And I know it sounds anti-logical and counterintuitive for me to say the higher commissions you pay, the more money you make. But let me show you how it works, because the assumption that lowering and cutting real estate commissions puts more money in the seller's pocket is a lie from the pit of Hades. Let me show you exactly how this works, guys. This is, in a nutshell, the 7% technique, a technique you must know. You must know how to do this. And if you do know how to do it, and we will teach you exactly how to do it, and our spreadsheets do all the work for you, present that to your seller. Okay, your seller will say, wow, I never realized that's how it works. And you know what? That plan of yours really does put more money in my pocket. Let's try it. And by the way, Mr. Seller, Mrs. Seller, if my plan doesn't work, you've lost nothing, because you don't have to take a lowball offer. If we get lowball offers, you don't have to take them. But what happens if we get offers that are $10, $20, $30, $50,000 over list? Would you care about the commission at that point? Well, of course not. I'm making all kinds of money. Exactly. Let me show you exactly how I'm going to do this. And you show them the 7% technique. If they hate it, no problem. What'd you lose? But sir, ma'am, and by the way, we have this spreadsheet called the How Should I List spreadsheet that shows exactly how much money they would make within a range going with you and the 7% technique. How much money they would make within a range of how much they would make if they went with your competition, and how much they would make if they went with an iBuyer. And it shows them exactly what they're going to make based on those 3 marketing campaigns and how they are listing in the MLS. You're going to be able to show them numerically that you can put more money in their pocket. And by the way, if my plan works, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, you put tons of money in your pocket. If my plan doesn't work, you can always use some other realtor. They'll cut their commission. If the other realtor's plan doesn't work, you can always use an iBuyer. But you can't go the other way. You can't reverse that. If you start with an iBuyer and you sell your house with an iBuyer, you can't go, oh, wait, give me my house back. I could have made more money. Wrong-o. So let's try the 7% technique. If it works, you just made more money. If it doesn't work, you've lost nothing. Please get into C4. Okay, for whoever asked this, get into C4. $19. Not only watch the training on the 7% technique, but set up a one-on-one with myself or any of our other trainers, and we'll walk you through the 7% technique point by point by point, so you can go in there and show your seller exactly how you're going to list it. They will absolutely love it. Okay, doesn't get any better than that. Sign up. We'll get you going. We'll get you the training. We'll get you the one-on-ones. You'll be ready to go. All right, we'll go over with you one-on-one. Doesn't get better than that.
Somebody also had a question, and we all know the answer. They had just paid their association dues. Can they get out of that and withdraw their membership?
Nope. Okay, you already paid. They're not going to give you a refund. There's no way, no how. Okay, you paid your dues, and I'm assuming this is California. And again, your dues are not between you and the board. It's between you and your broker. Before you paid those dues, here's what you should have done, and you can do it coming up next year. Okay, there's no way you're going to get money out of the board. That's just no way. Okay, so if you already paid your dues, suck it up and go to the next year. You need to sit down with your broker and say, according to the Department of Justice, there can be no mandate that I must be a member of NAR, CAR, and the local board. Mr. or Mrs. Broker, are you going to require me to be one if I'm at your brokerage? Because I don't feel that these people are representing. I don't feel they're representing. By DOJ decision, you must give us the option to get in or out of the board. You must give us that option. If you're not giving us that option, maybe I should consider a different brokerage. Your conversation, again, is not with the board. Your conversation is with your broker. Okay, they're the ones who are controlling everything. And by the way, this has always been the case. If your broker decided not to mandate membership at CAR and NAR, okay, you wouldn't have to be in it. Okay, if they didn't have a membership, you wouldn't have to have a membership. That's how the rules work. The Department of Justice just formalized it, just finalized it. That's all they did. Right. So you need to go into your broker and have that conversation with them and say, what are you going to do to retain me as an agent?
And Zoom user, you just said, paid one. Again, just to follow up, as Beef is saying, you have to talk to your broker first. If your broker is mandating that you belong to it, then you have to belong to it. But if if you go and talk to your broker about it, you might be able to stop paying those on your credit card. But again, the key lies with your broker. Beef, can you let them know how they can access the MLS without belonging to that board?
Yes, I knew that question was coming next. Okay. If you are not a membership, if you do not have a membership at NAR, CAR, and your local board, they have to, by state law, still provide you the opportunity to have a subscription at the MLS. Those two things are separate. They combine those dues together, your board and your MLS dues together. They are literally, technically, and legally two separate things. You can force, if your broker says yes, and again, conversation with your broker, if your broker says nope, you do not have to be a member of CAR-NAR in the local board because our brokerage is not going to be a member of CAR-NAR in the local board, then the board has to allow you the opportunity to pay your MLS dues separate and your board membership dues separate if you want to stay in the board. It's separate. Once again, people like appraisers, okay, affiliates, and other people do not have a membership at NAR, CAR, and the local board. They don't have it, but yet they still have access. And they still have subscriptions at the MLS. Those things are separate. You need to go to your broker and go through the steps of separating those two and paying your board dues and your MLS dues separate. And if you want to get rid of this, get rid of it with your broker's permission and support and just pay your MLS dues. Just that. Just your access to the MLS, period. Okay. And they have to give you that option. And they'll resist, but your broker is the one who can make that happen. Again, your broker is in charge.
Okay, Beef, is C4 beneficial to agents outside of California?
That's yes. One of the reasons we built C4 is so you can get the same training as people in California, but from wherever you are. We have members in Florida, Texas, Michigan, Colorado, Hawaii, and everywhere else. Anybody, anywhere in the universe, any planet, any state, any country, okay, I don't care, any Milky Way out there, anybody in the world can join C4 and get the benefits of C4 no matter where you live. That's the beauty of it. It's all Zoom based. It's all electronic based. You have our website, which has all the tools, all the techniques, all the sessions coming up, all the sessions from previous, the access to Bill Kanoki. And by the way, if you live in Timbuktu, Bill Kanoki will still do your taxes. It's all done electronically. You do not have to go to their office. Most people do not. 99% of them never see Bill. It's all done electronically. It's all done through email. It's very simple. And guys, listen to me. You will pay 90 to 95% less taxes guaranteed. Okay, guaranteed. Okay, you just got to be a member of C4. You can be in C4 from any place in the world, and you should be 100%.
Yep, Bill is in all 50 states. That I do know for sure. Any other question, guys?
Yeah, I have a question.
Sure.
Sorry. Beef, by the way, you look the same forever. I'm coming to free seminars forever.
You know what it is? It's good, clean living, a healthy diet, and tons of makeup.
And tons of makeup. No, compliments. You always look the same, and you're always with the same spirit. Listen, I'm in Newport Beach, California. Word is, and I want to run this by you, see if you heard this too, that CAR, California Association of Realtors, is kind of anticipating. They're not waiting for any sentencing handed down through all these massive lawsuits that eventually will hit us, right? And they're proactive. They're already setting their own stage, meaning they're going to anticipate eventually what would be handed down so that they will not be hit. So meaning like they're already talking about eliminating buyer's commission from the MLS and setting in motion some rules so that they're not getting hit by the lawsuit, so that they show that they're proactively setting themselves up to fence off this lawsuit by implementing already stuff that's a little bit restrictive for us. But have you heard anything in that fashion or no?
Yes, and they're dreaming. They're absolutely dreaming. Here's why. Okay. That's like a murderer saying, okay, well, I'm gonna get out of my murder charges by promising I'll never murder again. Okay. That's ridiculous. This is not going to be about what you're doing in the future. And if you're talking about OCAR, that nest of vipers, by the way, no, they are just as they're going to be just as liable and just as open to lawsuits as everybody else. I don't care what they're doing. And just by restricting the rights and privileges of their members is not going to get them out of lawsuits. No way, no how. It's not going to happen, because if they participated in real estate, which they did for the last 5 years, which they have, they are going to be open to lawsuits. Definitely. And by the way, okay. And they say, oh, we're going to get rid of, buyer's agency on the buy side. No, they're not. They are not going to eliminate the buyer's agency in CRMLS. They're not going to do that. You got MetroList, CRMLS, and Sandicor. Okay, so in CRMLS, which encompasses all of LA County, okay, all of Riverside County, all the counties in the middle, all the way up to Sacramento, they cannot eliminate buyer's agency in CRMLS just by themselves. Now, I'm sure OCAR thinks they can, but they can't. And by the way, they can never outlaw buyer's agency. Can they lobby all the other, should we say, boards to vote on eliminating the rule that you have to put a commission to the buy side? Yes, but that's going to happen anyway. So all of their posturing, all of their rulemaking, all of their restrictive things they're going to do is going to do nothing but piss off their members, and they're already doing it. Okay, and I knew that boards like OCAR would do this. I knew they were going to do something like this. Okay, it's just like they're so hot. Like the old saying says, they're so lofty. It's like they crap marble. Okay, OCAR is going to be just as liable and just as open to lawsuits as everybody else, no matter what they do. And all of their posturing and email sending and, hey, we're going to have this rule and this rule and we're going to do this and this is not going to save them one bit. Just my opinion, but I'm right.
Someone said that they heard that getting the MLS alone has much higher fees. Have you heard? I don't think so.
Okay, that is not true. Okay, having just MLS dues is the same amount as anything else. I believe there's a small surcharge if you don't have a board membership, but it's still not as much as your board and the MLS combined. That's not the case. And by the way, if it is the case, that will be changing very quickly, because there's a lot of agents and a lot of brokerages that are pushing back against having memberships at CAR and NAR because they're not representing us the way they should be. And don't get me wrong, if CAR and NAR represented the brokers, the agents, and the industry the way they should be, I would not be saying what I'm saying. I wouldn't be saying it. Okay, I am very pro NAR, very pro state board, and very pro local board, very, very pro. But they need to represent us. They're not doing it. The reason that I'm so hard and Career Compass is so hard on NAR and CAR and the state boards is because they're not representing us. We're paying them massive amounts of money, and they're not representing us. That's wrong. If they did the right thing, I would be the biggest fan in the world of these boards.
And Beef, as a follow-up, of course, but without CAR membership, we might not have access to zip forms.
I went over this. Okay, forget zip forms. Okay, again, do not be brainwashed. Do not be brainwashed thinking that the sun rises and sets on zip forms. There's dozens of different forms out there. There's the state bar forms. There's the First Tuesday forms. There's the Staples forms. There's all these forms. You can go onto Google right now and Google real estate forms. And by the way, don't tell me about legal protections. The zip forms, legal protection is weak at best. Okay, you can You can Google forms. Most of them look exactly like zip forms, just without the car logo at the top. And once again, guys, please don't get into the mentality that you have to use car forms, zip forms, or it'll be illegal. Hey, I got news for you. Redfin doesn't use car forms, zip forms. How do they get away with it? Open Door doesn't. Zillow doesn't. All of these other companies don't use zip forms, and everybody accepts their offers. So you can do the same exact thing. Divorce yourself from the idea that you must have zip forms. And by the way, if you must have zip forms, you can buy an independent subscription to zip forms from Lone Wolf. But forget that. Forms are forms. Once again, I went over this before. The transaction coordinator doesn't need it on a zip form. They just need the information. You can, again, I have written up contracts on napkins. Okay, that's legal. Anything is legal. So don't tell me that okay, all you realtors, okay, here's the thing about realtors are so brainwashed in thinking that only zip forms and only the state board forms will work. That is totally and completely untrue. Period. End of story. You could write up offers or listing contracts on any forms. I don't care what it is. Once again, a napkin. Anything that's a napkin or better is good enough. Ask any TC. Divorce yourself from your marriage to zip forms.
Does Zillow use zip forms?
No.
Does Redfin use zip forms?
No.
So why do you guys think you have to use zip forms?
Because they've been brainwashed in thinking that. Stop thinking that, realtors. Okay. Get into C4, come to a career compass, free your mind from the way you used to do real estate. The reason that we're so controversial, the reason we have so many members is because what we're teaching and what we're doing is so radically different than anything you've ever been taught before. How can you risk not knowing this stuff? I mean, I can show you thousands of realtors that go, you know what? My massive success in real estate is because of that company right there. Nobody has made more millionaires out of realtors than Career Compass. Nobody.
Well, somebody says that
Tired
they
of being
were
so good.
somebody was under the impression that they use zip forms because it covers items that have been involved in lawsuits and their E&O insurance requires it. Were they brainwashed too?
All right. Yes, you're brainwashed too. No, it doesn't cover that. Last time I read the RPA, there's about 18 holes in it. Number one. Number two, if you have E&O insurance that requires zip forms exclusively and nothing else, get a new E&O policy. That's ridiculous. Okay, I guarantee your E&O policy, when you threaten to cancel your policy with your E&O company because they're requiring zip forms, they'll go, oh, no, never mind. As long as it's a good form, you're okay. They're not going to lose your policy. And if you have an insurance company, okay, wherever you get your E&O, maybe you get it from Car. Jesus, talk about a monopoly. Wherever you're getting your E&O insurance, okay, if they require it has to be on zip forms, get a new policy with somebody else. Shop around.
Why doesn't the Career Compass come up with C4 or with forms?
We are. Okay, ready? One of the benefits coming up. We have 12 benefits of C4. The newest benefit, and we're working on it, but it's a big job, and we're getting to it. We are going to have a backup set of 260 forms that are going to be completely free to everybody that's in C4. Boom, baby. Doesn't get any better than that, okay? Because those wonderful, wonderful people over there at First Tuesday, we're going to be partnering with them, and they're very pro Career Compass, and we're very pro them. Great company, great people, and we're going to have a set of forms that you're going to be able to use as backup, or maybe as your main forms. You don't need zip forms, okay? Divorce yourself from Car and NAR, or let's do this. Let's go ahead and make Car and NAR represent us the way they should. Then we can all be happy. Wouldn't that be great?
When's Career Compass going to become a brokerage so agents can hang their license with us?
Somewhere between now and never.
With us leaning more towards never. Can a seller require that a buyer submit an offer on car forms?
No, illegal.
Yep.
They cannot. That's illegal.
Listing agent would not accept not car form offers. What should I do as buyer's agent?
Tell them that if they don't accept your offer on a non-zip form, you will be suing them in court and you will be winning because what they're asking is illegal. Just requesting it is illegal. And I can go ahead and make my money from selling real estate, or I can make my money by suing your ass off because what you're doing is illegal. Try that one on.
I think any other questions, guys? We've run. So wait, hold on.
By the way, any brokerage that that does not accept a good offer because it's not on a zip form is stupid. That brokerage is stupid. Okay. Their broker is stupid. Okay. Their agents are stupid. Period. What in the world are we doing? Okay. You're so stupid in real estate that you're not going to sell real estate because it's not on a certain form. Are you serious? That is the most, please, if you, okay, do me a favor. Okay? Since you guys are all friends, yay, friends. When you run into that broker or agent, please have them call me so I can explain how stupid they are. Please give them my number. Oh, you're not going to accept my offer because it's not on a zip form? Can you please call Beef Wellington? I guarantee they'll probably go, oh, I have to call Beef Wellington? I'll accept your offer on a non-zip form. That's fine. I just don't do that.
Better yet, I wonder if the client knows that the agent's rejecting offers.
Oh, you know what? Maybe I'll give your seller a call and let them know that you're rejecting offers because it's not on some particular form.
Yeah, everyone would like that one. Yes, we will be, this meeting has been recorded and we will post it on our website, thecareercompass.com. Under the news tab, it usually takes about 2 days for us to get everything processed and up there. So it's Monday. So by Wednesday afternoon, we should be able to have that up there. In the meantime, make sure you join C4 or the Career Compass or both. And if there's any further questions, speak now or forever hold your peace.
Or give us a call here at the office. Okay, you
Yep.
can. Call me on my cell phone if you want. I'll always answer. Okay. Again, guys, every realtor should be joining C4. This puts money in your pocket and guarantees your success. Are those two things you don't want? If not, this is your program right there. Scan that QR code or go to thecareercompass.com.
Beef, can you explain real quick? Somebody has a question. What's the difference between the lifetime membership and the C4 membership?
Yes. Lifetime membership. This is a lifetime membership for one-time fee. You pay $195. You get to come to any seminar, live seminar, our 2 days, our 2-day award-winning best training in California, awarded by the state legislature. 2-day training. Okay, unbelievable. All the benefits, license renewal through our third-party affiliate company, open bar, fun, great stuff, for free, for life, forever. Okay, you get to come to any seminar. The next one is in Tustin, coming up in February, and then Pechanga, and then up north, and then back to Pechanga again, and San Diego and Las Vegas. Any seminar, anytime, for free, for life. You never pay again. You get to come to any of our live seminars. This is C4. All of those 13 benefits I just went over. All of the benefits, the training, the tax reduction, Bill Kanoki, all of those things is C4. Zoom-based training every month. Live Zoom-based training, live guest speakers, tax reduction. This is C4, all done by Zoom. This is live. So think about it this way. This is by Zoom. This is live. This is amazing. This is your taxes. This is everything. This is the best seminar in the history of real estate. Those two things are separate. Live seminars, Zoom. Sorry about that, guys. Zoom-based training. Okay. Every single realtor should be in this one. $19. Never, ever a contract you can quit anytime you want, but you'd be crazy too. Every realtor should get in this program and be in there for life.
Oh, and somebody's wondering if they're already in the monthly program, do they have to cancel that to do the lifetime? And absolutely not. Do you want to explain that one?
Okay, if you're already in C4, stay right there. Okay, scan this QR code to come to our live seminar. There you go. Boom, baby, right there. So if you already have this, you can add this. If you already have this, you can add this. You can add both. You can add neither, whatever you want to do. So no, you do not have to cancel anything. Most of our members are in both. Most of our members come back to our seminar over and over again just for the great training, the recharging your batteries, meet other agents, okay, networking, license renewal through our third-party affiliate company, all that kind of great stuff, and are in our C4 monthly, because what you learn here is reinforced here, and what you learn here is reinforced here. They go together like hand in glove.
All right. And I'll type it in here. Somebody's asking for the phone number. I'm assuming that's the phone number for the Career Compass. Our phone number is area 619-990-1106. Or if you would like to contact Beef directly, his phone number is 619-840-9355. And I will put that in there, 619. 840-9355. Hold on, I have a couple more questions, I think. Give me a second, guys, trying to answer the questions. Is the live seminar for the CE credits?
Yes, okay. If you are a Career Compass member, okay, and you come to our seminar, you will be able to go through our continuing education license renewal process for free, for life, forever, through our third-party affiliate company. Yes, a membership at Career Compass does get you your license renewal. Again, third-party affiliate company. And C4 gets you the same thing. So you can renew your license in either of these programs through our third-party affiliate company. It's a benefit of both things. Yes.
All right. Any other questions? Oh, Sandra, we will see you in Tustin. Looking forward to that. That's going to be a great event coming up in I think a week and a half.
Hey,
So
guys,
if you haven't
the
registered
Tustin
yet,
event.
make sure you get on there and register for Tustin. Beautiful location, great restaurants and everything, very centrally located, easy to get to, and free parking, super awesome. Any other questions, guys?
Tustin coming up on the 7th and 8th of February in the Tustin Convention Center, right there in the Tustin Marketplace. It is awesome. That is a great location, really comfortable chairs, great audio, great open bar, and the restaurants around there. I mean, there's like 100. It's amazing. It's just great. It's one of my favorite locations just for the food alone. So please come, and you can RSVP right on thecareercompass.com. Again, thecareercompass.com. You can sign up right here for C4. You can sign up right here with the membership. You can RSVP on our website, whatever you want to do.
I'm not sure this question is the Pechanga one stay available to buy. What do you mean by stay available?
They probably mean, is there hotel rooms? Yes, you book your room independently through Pechanga Resort and Casino, which is pechanga.com, which is Pechanga, Pechanga. It looks like Pechanga, pechanga.com, or you can call 888-PECHANGA. So you book it right through there. Yes, they have rooms. They just doubled their size a couple of years ago. Biggest casino in all of California. A wonderful place to stay. I love Pechanga. It's an amazing spot. So yes, you can stay there, or you can stay at any of the hotels around the area. And we also have the wineries in Temecula, which also some of them have rooms. So there's lots of options.
But we do not, just to clarify, we do not have a block of rooms at Pechanga. All hotel rooms are on your own.
Yeah, they don't do room blocks over there, but it's okay. They have great rates. So go ahead and get on it. Again, go to pechanga.com.
Location is beautiful. All
really
right.
Any other questions,
awesome.
guys? Every single person on this call should be scanning that QR code right there, or going to thecareercompass.com and getting into C4. It literally, and I know I keep saying it, sound like a broken record. It will we guarantee it puts money in your pocket, thousands and thousands, if not tens, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars over what you pay for it every year, guaranteed. Just the tax reduction pays for that program over and over again. And that's just the beginning of that program. It is literally the key to success in the real estate industry in the future.
All right. And in the chat is both the links to sign up for C4 and the link if you would like to sign up for an upcoming seminar. Like we said, Tustin's coming up, Pechanga in April, and we have a few more. You can see our whole list in there. Are you able to write off costs for C4? Of course, it's a business expense. Absolutely.
Yes. Every
you
dime.
Can write off your ticket to the Career Compass. And if you go to the Career Compass event and you stay at Pechanga, you get to write off every ounce of that, every drop of food you put in your mouth, your hotel room, your mileage to get there and back again. Anything you do is all a tax write-off, especially when you have a subchapter S Corp.
Guys, it's literally free. That is completely tax deductible, and so is that 100% within the letter of the law. Definitely. You are doing it for business and educational purposes. That is 100% tax deductible. Please check with your tax professional, which should be Bill Kanoki, and he'll tell you that same exact thing. In fact, you'll get to meet Bill Kanoki at all of our events. He's there live, and he speaks for about 2 hours. It's amazing. He'll blow your mind. Kanoki will be at every one of our events. If you go to Tustin in 2 weeks, Kanoki will be there. If you come to Pechanga in 2 months, Kanoki will be there. You'll get to meet Bill Kanoki himself.
Yep. And he not only teaches you how to do all the write-offs, guys, he even teaches you, Elizabeth, we were talking about writing off the cost for C4. He even teaches you how to write off the cost for your makeup, your hair, your massages, lots of stuff, things that you never thought you could write off. Who will help us do subchapter S for taxes? That's something that Kanoki does too. They can help you set up a subchapter S. They have a whole suite of tools and assistances, from setting up your subchapter S to filing if you have to have payroll, to doing your taxes. They have the whole gamut. That's all.
Hey, to have Bill Kanoki do all that for you, you must be in C4. But don't worry, okay? It more than pays for itself. You'll be what you will save in taxes more than pays for everything. And Bill Kanoki's fees to do all those kind of things is less than you're already paying now. So not only are you going to pay less than what you're paying now, okay, but you're going to pay 90% less taxes. It's a benefit and it's a win coming and going. But to get Bill Kanoki to set you up and take you as a client, you must be in C4. You cannot get in there any other way.
That's exactly right. And as far as the question on how much he charges, because every person is individual, we can't give a quote on that. But join C4 and we'll get you a consultation with him, and he will run down the whole thing with what the costs are and what he can and can't do, which is not, he can do a lot more than he can't.
Okay. In most cases, it's equal or less than what you're paying now. Okay. Unless you're doing TurboTax on your own, which is the dumbest thing you could ever do when it comes to your taxes. Okay. TurboTax costs you $0, or it costs you tens of thousands of dollars, because that's what you're going to be paying in taxes. Hey, guys, I got news for you. Every single dime you pay Bill Kanoki to do your taxes, and his tax preparation is from about $300 to about $1,500, depending on how complex your situation is. And I got news for you. The IRS sponsors TurboTax. You want to know why? Because it maximizes the amount you pay into the government. Don't ever use those terrible processes. Get a real tax preparer. Get Bill Kanoki. Okay. Get in C4, get Bill Kanoki, and pay nothing. That's what you need to do. Every dime you pay Bill Kanoki returns $1,000 back to you. In most cases, it's awesome.
Yep. And I know somebody has a lot of questions about the taxes. We're kind of getting into minutia. Go ahead and submit on the C4 website a one-on-one with Bill Kanoki, and his office can answer all those specific questions about doing taxes with a non-realtor spouse, what your options are, because those options, we could seriously get in the weeds with all of those questions. There's so many answers, and what if this happens and what if that happens? So yeah, join C4 if you're not already. Get on the C4 website. Under the C4 tools, there's a button that says request a one-on-one. That goes directly to Bill's office, and their staff is on it and will contact you and get you a consultation and answer any and every question they possibly can.
Let me just kind of reiterate that. Number one, join C4. Number two, set up a consultation with Bill Kanoki. He'll explain everything to you. Let me tell you how good Bill Kanoki is. Ready? This last year for 2023, Bill Kanoki was requested, and he did, to review Kamala Harris's taxes. Yeah, the Vice President of the United States. Ready for this? He looked at her taxes for about maybe 30 minutes, and just off the top of his head said I could have saved her $80,000 in taxes she paid to the federal government. 80 grand. That's how good Bill Kanoki is. So out of all the tax preparers in the world, Kamala Harris's staff contacted Bill Kanoki to ask him to review her taxes. Can you believe that? Now, who do you want doing your taxes? Some H&R Block or TurboTax? Or do you want the guy who was requested to do the Vice President of the United States taxes? That should explain everything right there. You must be in C4. There's no question about it, guys. Get in C4, get your taxes lowered, get in C4, learn how to do this business, get in C4, be successful. There you go.
All right, guys, we're hitting 2 hours, my love. So I think we're gonna wrap it up. Any last questions, comments?
Look at all the people still on the talk. This is amazing.
I know, it's fantastic.
Guys, if
great
you're still
information.
If you're still on this talk and you haven't joined C4, what are you waiting for? You can't not do this. I mean, what are you waiting for? If you're still on this talk, either one of two things. Either you better be joining this, or you're already in it in the first place, which I can know many of you are already in C4. I get it. Okay, guys, join C4. If you're still on this talk and you haven't joined, what in the world are you waiting for? Literally, I mean, are you waiting for a better deal? Because there's no better deal in the history of real estate than that. It just doesn't get any better than that.
All right. Thank you guys so much for joining us. We really, really appreciate it. We hope that we gave you lots of tidbits of information. If you have any further questions, please feel free to give our office a call, 619-990-1106. You can also shoot us emails at support, SUPPORT, at thecareercompass.com. Again, all three words of thecareercompass.com, support at thecareercompass.com. If you have a direct question for Beef, I did put his phone number up there too. Feel free to text him or give him a call, 619-840-9355. We appreciate all of you for sticking through this. This was a long one. We hope that we got you lots of good information. And as different things change and morph and happen, we will be definitely doing more of these because we know that knowledge is power, and we understand that sometimes your brokerages aren't telling you the whole thing, and we're here to do that for you. We're here to muddle through the articles and the websites and the news things and figure out what is and what isn't, and let you guys know exactly what you need to know. So join C4. We do this all the time for them, and give them as much support as we possibly can. We'd love to have you as a part of our crew. And if there's any other questions, let us know. Beef?
All right, guys. Thank you for sticking around. This is an amazing session. We've gone so long. We still have so many people on. Join C4. Come to the Career Compass or both. Guys, best investment you'll ever make. Thank you for being here. Good luck, everybody. We'll see you at the seminar. We'll see you at C4. Good luck and good selling. Take care, everybody.